everybody, welcome back to the Craft Beer Hub. I've got a 4-beer review video for you. These are the brand new beers into my Morrisons, or probably yours as well. I say my Morrisons because my Morrisons doesn't tend to stock the biggest selection of the craft beer that Morrisons in general has to offer. So these are the 4 beers that were new onto the shelf in my Morrisons in South Norfolk. Now, just to go through them before we start, we've got in price order, we've got the Siren Craft Expressions Idaho 7 Double Dry Hopped IPA. That's a 5.2% beer, and that came in at £3.25. We've got the Northern Monk Pina Colada IPA called Shipwrecked. That comes in at 7% ABV, and that was $3.75. We've got the Northern Monk Faith in Futures Double Dry Hopped IPA at 6%. That's coming in at $3.75 as well. That's that one there. Very Northern Monk dominated this, isn't it? And then we've got the Northern Monk Collaboration Brew Stout with Wiper and True that comes in at 8.4%, and that beer was £4 for the can. Now, first thing to notice, it seems to be the Siren Craft beer is now $3.25 when it would have been probably £3 before. The Northern Monk beers are $3.75 when all of their IPAs were $3.50 traditionally. So there has been a slight increase on this little launch, but it's to be expected in today's times. Quite big beers actually. I'm doing this on the Tuesday. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. These are all kind of like room temperature, slightly cooler than room temperature. I think we just got to go in ABV order. Let's get this over. This is Siren Craft Expressions Idaho 7 Double Dry Hopped IPA, 5.2%. Nice normal can wrap from Siren Craft. Let's get it into a glass. Boom. Boom. Siren Craft, I quite like Siren Craft. They do some pretty decent stuff. I don't drink a lot of their stuff, if I'm honest. I think the Siren Craft beers that really do stick in my mind were the Christmas Mole chocolate cake beers that came out probably 18 months ago. Boom, there we go. What have we got then? We've got a nice light straw colour beer. Looks lovely and vibrant in the glass actually. Little bit of carbonation in the glass doing its thing. A 1 to 2 finger fluffy white foamy head. Let's get an aroma. Oh, lovely citrus orange tangerine. Touch of pineapple and peach. Does smell quite soapy. There is that kind of soapy, kind of overly floral aroma to it. But it smells okay. The overriding aroma out of this is really sort of orange and sweet tangerine. Let's go in. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, that soapiness is in the flavour as well. I'm not a fan of that. At all. Sweet and slightly malty to start with, but then that is not a good. It's giving me goosebumps. The orange is in there, bit of peach, bit of passion fruit, bit of pineapple, but really, there's a horrible soapy taste that runs all the way through this beer from the aroma all the way through to the back end. The back end is actually quite, say it again, sort of soapy and chemical. Slightly sweet, soapy chemical. It's a bit of a wishy-washy beer. There's no real mouthfeel to this beer. None of the flavours hit home. Far too artificial for me. No, not good from Siren Craft. I'm going to give that a 1.5 out of 5. That's kind of getting on the verge of being undrinkable, if I'm honest. So yeah, 1.5 out of 5 for that one. I don't want to drink any more. That just tastes like a headache to me. Right, the next beer that we've got is, let's get this over and done with. I've got a funny thing. I don't go into my beer reviews with any preconceived ideas, but I do think that this isn't going to be very good. My dog's going mad. Sorry if you can hear her. It's interesting actually. I've just seen this. They've called it the Transient Shipwrecked IPA. Transient. Can you see that at the top? Bit worried. Transient obviously is one of their more famous supermarket beers. Yeah, don't know how I feel about this. Them using the Transient name kind of makes me think, are they kind of just wringing the neck of this particular name? I don't know. Let's see. Let's get it open. Boom, there we go. All that barking was my in-laws turning up. Right. The beer that... It's either going to be a good bit of fun or it's going to be terrible. I don't know. Let's go. Northern Monk Transient. Sorry, Northern Monk Shipwrecked from the new Transient range. 7%. God, I don't know how I feel about this. I think the last did Brewdog do a pina colada beer called like Palm Beach or something? Kind of worrying because I've said for a little while I'm worried that Northern Monk are going down the Brewdog route and they've brewed a beer that seems to be exactly the same as what Brewdog got in their range. What have we got? We've actually got a really quite a good juicy looking IPA actually. Dark straw coloured beer, kind of crossing over into slightly copper to straw colour. Maybe it does come across a little bit. It looks like fresh pineapple juice to me. One finger white head, looks pretty good in the glass actually. After me sort of talking it down a little bit, and I don't go into these beer reviews with preconceived ideas of what the beer is going to be like. It's just you get a feel. You know, I've probably reviewed, I don't know, 200 to 300 beers now on YouTube. Aside and obviously all the other ones that I've kind of thought about and wrote about on Untapped before I started YouTube. You kind of get a feel. And you know what I mean if you're an experienced craft beer drinker. But yeah, let's go in. Enough talk. I do like, if it's done with hops, this could be good. If they've Sabro hop this, which I don't think they would do. If they've Sabro hop this to get the pineapple flavours, then this could be good. No, they haven't. They haven't. It's a very, very pineapple concentrate heavy aroma I'm getting out of this. The coconut is there, but yeah. If this was it's one of these things. If this was like an ice cream or if this was like a fruit juice, it'd probably be alright. But it's a beer. Doesn't smell amazing. Weird sort of menthol thing in there as well. That's all you're getting out of this. There's nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. Spiky pineapple aromas and artificial creamy coconut. Cheers everybody, wish me luck. Waiting for the end bit. Yeah, it is. I was waiting for that. 98% of the way through that beer, I'm kind of thinking this isn't. Oh my god, that horrible chemical thing at the back. It tastes like a good bit of fun actually, and pound for pound, it's probably better than the Brewdog beer. But you are talking like not by a whole lot. It's not a good beer. It's very, very sweet. It's very, very artificial. It's very, very concentrated. That real concentrated pineapple goes through into the beer. It's got this strange, slightly. It's got this strange sort of. It's almost like those artificial flavours of veil. There's like a veil in front. It's that. Oh my god, that chemical. There's this chemical thing from start to finish in the beer, and I'm picking up much more on the second taste. That's foul. That is absolutely rank. It's no better than the Brewdog beer. It's got worse on the second taste. I know in a matter of 20 seconds or 30 seconds I've changed my mind, but that is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It says, washed up on the island. Luckily, you like a pina colada, so grab this beer and escape. I do like a pina colada. I love a pina colada, in fact. But you've just probably ruined it for me a little bit, Northern Monk. Water, malted barley, wheat, oats, hops, natural flavours, and yeast. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That's a bloody hell, that's a 1 out of 5. That's terrible. So far, this Morrisons release has been pretty poor. I thought the Siren Craft IPA might have been alright. I wasn't expecting much out of this. This is everything I thought it would be. I mean, Northern Monk just showing their hand yet again that they are just no better than Brewdog nowadays. In terms of the disappointment they offer up, it's really disappointing. I was thinking about this today. I was a bit behind the curve when Brewdog sort of fell off. I never really had that massive affinity with Brewdog. I tried some of their beers in the early days, probably 2010, 11, I'm guessing. And yeah, Punk IPA was fantastic, but I was never really much of a Brewdog fanboy. And when they fell off the cliff, it didn't really bother me. Same with Tiny Rebel, it didn't really bother me. Northern Monk, with them falling off the cliff, this is bothering me. I've said it, if you go back probably a year ago, I say things like, in my opinion, Northern Monk are one of the best brewers into a supermarket. They're not anymore. They are not. Trust me, they're not. And they're knocking out that rubbish for... How much was that? They're knocking out that rubbish for $3.75 a can. That's not worth £2. That tastes like an Aldi or Lidl beer festival beer. Terrible. Terrible. Okay. So, another Northern Monk beer. The Faith in Futures looks like some sort of collaboration thing. Just trying to see if there's any information on it. There's a logo down the bottom there. Probably I think they do it with artists, don't they, generally? Let's get this open. This is double dry hop IPA at 6%. Awful taste of that pineapple in my mouth now. But the Faith in Futures beers tend to do all right. They tend to do all right. They're sort of some of the more honest beers that Northern Monk produce nowadays. So, come on, I want this to be good. I want Northern Monk to show me that they can still brew some decent beer and stick in the supermarket. Right, what have we got then? We've got, yet again, another sort of juicy looking IPA, very similar to the previous one. A one finger whitehead, subtle carbonation. Let's get an aroma. Not too much out of that, I have to say. I'm going to go back in again. It smells quite dank and... It smells really dank and sort of damp. You know, dank is kind of... Dank can smell a bit damp, but this beer does smell damp. A bit cabbagey, a bit damp, a bit earthy. I don't know. That's the overriding thing I'm getting from it. There's maybe a bit of grapefruit in there, but it does smell quite cabbagey and damp. Yeah. Wish me luck. This is going to be a headache. I'm going to have a headache in the morning. Cheers, everybody. That's rubbish again. It's just really sweet all the way through. The beer... It just doesn't get going. I'm really, really struggling here. I really, really am. Touch of sweetness. Maybe a slight... It's quite sweet all the way through. Maybe a slight hint of grapefruit and orange. But that's it. It ends sweet and it goes away. There's a slight chemical taste yet again in the back of my mouth, which makes me wonder whether they've used what they've used for the hops. My God, what the hell's happened to Northern Monk? This is, in a weird way, this is the most disappointing beer of the lot. Siren, I know they can be a bit hit and miss. Generally, I quite like their beers. The Shipwrecked, I knew it was... I knew. I didn't know. I had a feeling that it wasn't going to be quite what I like out of a beer. But this has surprised me. That has surprised me. Normally, the Faith in Futures beers from Northern Monk that have gone into the supermarket have been pretty good for the money. This is just weird. it's just damp. It almost smells like your nan's old cellar almost. It's got that damp, kind of musty, old house smell and taste to it. And then along with that chemical thing, which I'm going to guess is probably some sort of cheaper hop, thing. And it looks just dead in the glass. It's just poor. And then you got that weird sort of chemical. It's that weird sort of chemical thing at the back. That's another 1.5. This Morrisons drop has been rubbish. My God. Well, in a normal circumstance, I'd say fantastic. We got a Northern Monk Stout, but I don't know. Wiper and True are pretty decent. I think they're from Bristol. I think they're pretty good. Decadent Stout at 8.4%. I don't know what to think about this. I don't know. At least it's not another 4.2% stout. We're charged with nitro. Yeah, I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. So it's not a nitro charged beer. Wasn't expecting it to be. It looks very thin straight away. What's it called? This beer, Dark Matter. Dark Matter. What have we got then? We've got a jet black beer in the glass, 2-finger brown, foamy head. Can't really see the carbonation because it's a jet black beer. It looks alright. It does look very, very watery though. I will say that straight off the bat. Don't know. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great in the glass. Oh, what have I just spent? I think it's about 15 quid this was, this little lot. With my bag for life, it was 15 quid. Let's get an aroma. Raisin, prune. Dialed back though on the aroma. It's not hitting me. Not like an 8.4% beer should. Touch of milk chocolate. Sweet coffee. Don't know. Doesn't smell good. I'm not excited. This does not really kind of filled me. Let's go in. Cheers, everybody. Nah, poor again. Not unoffensive. Sorry, not offensive. Sorry. Like those other beers were. Very sweet chocolate coffee with a bit of sort of tobacco smoke to start with. The middle part of the beer is kind of chocolatey. And the back end of the beer is sweet coffee, but it is so watery. It is just. It's almost like it's 50% of what the beer should be. Granted, it doesn't taste 8.4%. It's not really that roasty. It's very, very sweet. What does it say on it? Roast malt chocolate. It's so thin. Subtle carbonation in the mouth. But it's not. It's poor. It's really, really poor. It tastes like they've brewed probably a half decent stout. Some of the flavours that sort of start to show their face are half decent, but they never follow through properly. It tastes like they've brewed a half decent stout and watered it down. I haven't seen the other. I know this is Morrisons. I think Tesco's have done a release recently. I think Sainsbury's have, and Asda have. But as far as the Morrisons beers go, that were always one of some of the best up until very recently. It's just dropped off a cliff. It's just so poor. Look how watery that is. It's just like, and it looks miserable in the glass. Oh my God. That's a 2.5 out of 5. It's very, very poor. I mean, Jesus Christ, 4 beers. 4 beers. What was it? A 1, 2 1.5s and a 2.5. My God, the state of craft beer. This isn't the state of craft beer in the country, it's not. But you've got to remember, this is the entry level for a lot of people now. You know, someone that's never drunk craft beer is not going to go to Trembling Madness and spend £6 a can. They're going to go to the supermarket where they can... I mean, to be fair, that Northern Monk Stout was £4. I mean, that is shocking. That is shocking, charging that money for that beer. Northern Monk, you should be ashamed of yourselves. I don't know what the hell you're playing at here. If you can't... I know you've got people to pay, and I get it. I do get it. But it tastes like you've had the legs chopped off of you. But probably from Morrisons saying, we need a beer in at this amount, you need to do it for this amount. But you're killing yourselves. To people like me, and to many, many others, I'm not alone in saying this, and it was in a lot of the comments on one of my more recent videos about Northern Monk beer. You are killing yourselves in terms of what people like me want. And I'm just a regular craft beer drinker. I don't spend £100 a week at Trembling Madness. I probably put a bottle shop order in probably once every 2 months, and I live out of my local craft breweries most of the other times. I'm just a regular... Siren, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. They can be hit and miss. I generally quite like them overall, but I'm not surprised. But Northern Monk, for 3 beers... And you've kind of gone for 3 different beers. You've gone for an adjunct heavy beer, rubbish. You've gone for normally a hop forward, good quality beer. You know, the Faith and Futures beers are normally bang on, rubbish. And then your stout is just boring. An 8.2% stout, 4% stout, 8.4. How have you made that so boring? I think supermarket craft beer is absolutely on its butt. On its arse. It's so disappointing because this, I'm not joking, these 4 beers in a bag for life cost me £15. £15 that little lot was. £15. Honestly, every single one of those is... It gives me sort of reminders of the Lidl Craft Beer Festival when those beers are £1.75 a can or whatever they tend to be. Poor. Really, really poor. Morrisons, Mozza Beers Instagram channel. I doubt you watch me. I mean, what are you guys playing at? What are you guys playing at? I don't know. Really, really poor. I'm annoyed. I'm quite frankly, I'm not going to swear on the channel, but I'm really quite annoyed that I've spent £15 on this little lot with the bag. Rubbish. Don't bother, honestly. I'm not going to say that. You do what you want, but I cannot recommend you buy these beers at all. Some beers are subjectively good. Some beers are bad. Some beers are objectively good and bad. In my opinion, these beers are objectively bad. There's no quality about them at all. It's not down to personal taste. They are poor beers. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry to be so disappointed, to be so sort of wound up, and I don't normally get like this on the channel. But I spent £15 on that lot of rubbish. And if you watch this and you think, thanks Mark for saving me a few quid, get in the comments to let me know. Yeah, guys, what the hell's going on? Like and subscribe, guys, if you'd be so kind. Get in the comments if you've got any comments about these beers, and let me know what you thought of them. Obviously, some beers, when they go into supermarkets, you'll find it can vary in terms of, I mean, some Morrison stores have fridges, some don't, that kind of thing, so it might affect the condition of the beer. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think this is a rubbish selection, and it's an absolute waste of £15. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.